kicked out of the online on my computer, but that's okay. I'm going to keep moving. Hopefully, you'll see me on my. I went to my phone. I think that personally, I think that they be upgrading um the internet. I think that they be upgrading. That's what I think on. I'm trying to move it around. I think they be updating. So moving right along, hopefully that you could see me. I moved on from my computer to here. I think there's some kind of updates that happen on YouTube at the time that I decide to come on. So that's what I think. So I'll wait a few minutes to see if you see me on a different up. So I'll wait a few minutes. Hit the chat if you can see me. I came right back up because I personally think they upgrade YouTube at the time that I come on. Okay, so I'm here. So hit the likes, just follow me over here. I'm still here. And I think that honestly, I think that they are doing some kind of updates when I come on, and it always shuts me offline. So that's okay. We're going to keep moving. Um, Okay. So, what you want to make sure is that you are, because I'm almost done, you want to make sure that you are working through these things. Make sure you have a moon app. Make sure that you have those things so that way you can work with your energy on this. All right. So, what I'm going to do is that video is still up, and I'm just going to continue on the second half here if you have any question before I get into the reading aspect. Okay. So if you it may take a minute for it to come up into the chat here. If you have any questions, you can also in the process, if you have any questions and you feel guided, I always forget that we have a super chat opportunity. So if you feel guided to do a super chat or donate to the channel through this way or Cash App, either way, you're more than welcome to do so. Okay, so moving right along, I'm going to get right into what the reading is going to be. So I know that you got the gist on what about the full moon is, making sure that you look at these things intensely, work with it, know that the waning is my little hack that I do. My hack with that is that I work with the waning aspect with doing my release and forgiveness area versus doing it on full bloom. Full bloom of the moon. I prefer to rejoice in the embodiment and the joy of the full moon and of my work that I've done, that I've put in for the month for myself and for yourselves. So, and make sure that you understand that you should work with the moon app, know what's going on in the moon. These are very important areas so that way you have the reach the abundance energy that I talk about right in the title of the series. Is all about abundance energy hitting the moon aspect. Okay, so now I'm going to move on into the oracle side of things of doing a reading for you. Um, as you see, I was ready with my headphones and my phone and my ear pods just in case we got shut off because I was like, I'm not going to let that stop the flow. Sometimes it just is what it is, but I think they update when I'm on. That's what I get the feeling that's what's going on. Okay. So if you can find me, if you're trying to, you saw it spinning and it closed out, hopefully it did. And I'm on part two. Okay. So, I'll give it a minute for those that can come. I'll look in the chat and see if there's any questions. We go with the flow. Yes, we do. We do. We go with the flow. So, um, thank you, Morgan, for that. And so we just have to be fluid, right? A lot of fluidity, um, knowing that we're in that season of fluidity. Good morning. And we have to know to flow. Before I get into this part, there is a planet. Um, it's called Ceres. She's very like the Chiron. Chiron is the healing planet, or they recognize it as an asteroid. And then we have Ceres, which she's going to be coming into play closer to the new moon. Okay. And she's not a popular asteroid or a planet, if you will, but she has a lot of water in her. And she is considered fluid, like a lot of fluidity. And so she's going to be very close to the degree of Chiron, which Chiron is a healing, and then Ceres, and I may be mispronouncing that planet, but she's small and mighty and a lot of water. Okay, not known, but she's going to deal with a lot of fluidity, a lot of flow coming into our lives. She's a mermaid energy, and so she's adjacent herself, very close degrees to Chiron. Okay, and so she will be flowing the rest of this 2022. And so right now we are actually officially in the astrological year of 2022. So that kicked in on March the 20th, starting with the Aries energy. Now we've moved out of Pisces. However, we still are feeling Pisces energy, which is a lot of fluid energy. And so, but Aries is coming in, and he's coming in, but he's not as powerful yet. Like this, he's a fire energy, but he's still like fizzling, raising up through this spring. So, but when he hits his height, going into that new moon, where new moon and sun is right in the perfect alignment of the degree, then we'll feel that power of that. But also because we have a planet that's coming into our rim, which is Ceres. I hope I'm saying her right, her pronunciation, but you can look it up, and I'll have full more information on her with the new moon information. She has a lot of water. Okay. So she's going to be working with that water of Aries and kind of sizzling it a little bit, but also bringing it in. So we're not going to be at a high peak of energy, even though Aries is the first beginning of the astrological year. But as well, we're going into a year where it's starting to load, so it's like that load up, right? And it's that cadences that I talk about each time we come into this area. I talk about cadences, and that's a running term of knowing your cadence and knowing your step in it, and you step and you step. And so you got a nice pace. If you're new to the channel, welcome. New subscribers, please subscribe, or you coming from different social platforms. A little tidbit of me that I am a full marathon runner, 26.2 full marathoner. So me knowing cadences, I reference life a lot to running, different things that I've done, and a lot of different races I've been in. The life is like a race, but it's not about speed. It's about just taking it at one step at a time, and it's a full journey. So it's not about speed, that kind of energy. It's about pace in life and accepting it. So moving right along. Let me get into the reading. I was waiting on others to show or find us, but that will it be. So I was guided this morning to pull the Power of Love Oracle deck. I'll show this to you, the Power of Love. Uh-huh. And that jumped, so I got a jumper. So I'm pulling this, and I'm going to pull a manifestation. Spirit told me this morning to pull this deck out because some people needed to hear this. Also during this time, since the equilibriums have come to an equal balance from spring and from winter, and then the earth is tilted nicely, we have the thinning of the veil. Okay, so you should be feeling a lot of portals coming through. Maybe you're hearing from your ancestor energy, maybe your ancestors that you're connected to. You may be having a lot of energy such as that in this waning energy in first quarter. pay attention to that, listening to direction from them, going through recovery and release as well, hearing them taking you through a healing process. Okay. Some of that may not apply to you, some of it may apply to you that you may be going through recovery. Maybe recovering from healing from something, past pains, whatever it is, you know what it is. So take your time through that. Maybe make a commitment through, because the ancestors may be tapping into you, maybe make a commitment through this spring equinox and taking you into the summer equinox or summer solstice, that you will work through being fully recovered at that point in June of 15. So maybe that needs to be an intention that you may need to set so that your life looks different hitting the summer equinox. Okay. So I'm going to continue with that. I did get a jumper, so let me ask a second. Okay, so the one of the cards that came through immediately as a jumper. Now, jumper this is an oracle deck that I do use tarot. I use the Rider-Waite-Smith mostly guided tarot decks. But with this power of love, this particular card came up immediately. Okay, just jump. When they jump, they got a message immediately. Okay, and it says humility. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same, but on different paths. Okay, but on different paths. Okay. So that humility is something that you want to pay close attention to right now. Humility. You've developed in your love. You're loving, you're aware, you know that everyone else are the same, but everybody is on different paths. Sometimes when you hear from me or you hear from others that you are part of in your spiritual journey, know that you're on different paths. We all are on a spiritual journey. If you're here and you watch this video, you are on a spiritual journey. Maybe you should be journeying along with the full moon so you can get in a good path. Maybe you're on a path of humility. Sometimes people need to learn about humility. What does it really mean to you? And know that everybody is different. Humility doesn't mean be a rug or be a doormat. That's not what humility is about. Humility is learning to be um, in a good balance, not being too far on the left, being aggressive, and not on the far right of being passive, but being in the middle of being assertive and mainly being balanced. And that's what humility does. That's what humility does. So that's for someone that's here or will hear see this video. We also got the card here from the power of love present. Present, you live in the moment. This is what line exactly what I'm saying. Living in the moment and you live in the moment and are able to bring forth the energy of love in your current circumstances. In your current circumstances, being present. Now, one thing that I want to go over about you living in the moment, and that is something that we were talking about. If you go to part one, I'm going to redirect the structure of the title because we're on part two of the reading. But in the thing of this about the full moon, it was talking about being in the moment, enjoying the joy there, but when you bring in forth the energy of being in the present and of love in your current circumstances, always know that love is not an emotion. Love is a decision, and then it is present. Okay. Love is not an emotion. It is a present. And when you like love a human being or someone, maybe in a relationship, you will have that first energy of love, flutters, and your eyes are dancing or whatever kind of feeling you have when you first have that, maybe that emotion of love, as adults. You may, but then over time, you don't have that energy. Okay. And some people get that misconstrued. Oh, I don't love them anymore. No, love is not, that may be the height of something, but love is something that is not an emotion, not an emotion. It's a decision to stay there in love, with love, in a unconditional way. Okay, so it's not an emotion over time. If it's something relational wise or things like that, but it that goes into a balance, and then you find out, hey, okay, love is not about emotions, not a feeling, it's not sexual, it's not this. It is a decision to love, no matter what, even in the mistakes. Maybe even in things that you haven't feel, maybe you haven't felt love. And maybe you didn't know that you were being loved because it wasn't an emotion. But it is an action. It is an action. Love is action oriented. Okay. So it could be maybe doing things for others, giving a part of you with no expectation, maybe what that is for you, but being present. You live in the moment and are able to bring forth the energy of love in your current circumstances. So, what Spirit is saying is also be current, be present. Don't get so far ahead of yourself. Just be where you are in the day. And then as the next day comes, because each day has its own set of what you need to move in it on its own. Okay. So the next deck I'm going to is an oracle deck. It is a manifestation deck. So that way you're getting some encouragement or maybe something that is already affirming you. Um, Maybe something that you do need to hear, but always make sure that when you hear a reading such as this, or you doing, or you listening, or whatever you could be doing, make sure that you actually digest the information and not just go with the feeling. Because when you get something such as this, take time to write it down or mull it over or listen to it a couple of times or go back to it a couple of times and see how it sets inside of you. And don't let it be you are a hearer and not a doer. Many people in our society and today and in the past times and present times and in today, most people hear but they don't do. They don't do. It was it felt good. Again, it's emotion. And then it leaves you. You know, the spirit wants you to work, so you can see change and do change. Okay, and so that way it's just mulling over into you and taking root inside of you, so you can feel whole. Because doing a reading, and Spirit is saying now, doing this reading and doing these things that we're doing on a weekly basis is all about bringing you into your wholeness. It's about bringing you into your wholeness, bringing you into your altar state, meaning altar, ALTAR, having a altar, knowing that your environment and who you are a walking altar, that you are a walking holiness in who you are. you know Again, I'm a big advocate of having altars. I believe in having a space that you can go to, but at the same time, if that's not available to you, you can even make a small altar. I'm just using my eyeglass case, um of putting things in here and opening it up and popping it out can do a video on that, but you can put those things and know that's my space. Or enough, if that is not available to you, and wherever your lifestyle is, you should have a life of prayer, time put in. Prayer is meditation, putting your mindset in so you could be a walking altar for yourself. So that's for someone. Moving right along. Okay. What do you have to say to them? Mm. All right. Okay, so spirit is all in tune with what we're talking about, what spirit wanted me to talk about. So one of the first things is that spirit wants to bring is reveal what needs to be seen. Reveal what needs to be seen. Okay. Now, revealing what needs to be seen is there is within you that shows outward. And this can also be what I'm hearing related to someone else too that you're listening to. Maybe there's a partner or a friendship that you have, and you want those things to be revealed to you. But most importantly, are you listening to yourself to reveal things from within? Are you taking quality time? So that means that revealing what needs to be seen is time well spent with yourself, setting up meditation time, listening, studying, putting things in to bombard the opposing energy so that way you can reveal what needs to be seen in and out of yourself, and then seeing it out of someone else. And I am hearing to, don't always wait to hear from, looking at what this other person's going to do in your life. Like I'm hearing that, like don't spend a lot of time with this other person. What are you doing for yourself? Because it's your journey. Another person that will connect to you is a help to you. Is more of a collaboration to you versus you being a dependent, you know. So that fits for whomever that's for. Okay. And then what we have here, Spirit is sharing with us, is finding balance, something that we've been talking about here. Finding balance, making sure that what I was saying already, and Spirit is affirming it, is that not being too far to the left, not being too far to the right, but being in the middle, being assertive with your life, being assertive, having that assertiveness. Meaning assertive means being balanced. You don't have to yell to the top of your lungs, being aggressive to get a point across. You don't have to be passive and just shut down because you just shutting down. You know, that's not effective either for your life. Passive is just, I'm just gonna, you know, you know, you have to find your balance and be in the assertive area. Okay, so that way, you sit down, you think, okay, that's not the best way to be aggressive, and that's not the best way to be just letting it just go. Okay, I need to find a way to be um, assertive, effective, and bring my point across. Maybe some of you need to work with your throat, be able to speak better or to think, to bring your thoughts, clearing up your thoughts. Maybe you need to work with your thought patterns. Maybe writing a word over and over and over again to bring your mind into more of a calmness, or maybe adding a herb to yourself. Again, I'm not a medical guide as far as giving you medical information, but you know, um, as you know that I am LSW, I will recommend that maybe you need to seek counseling or therapy, or you may even come to me for diagnostic consultation or counseling session, because I do counseling outside of doing the reading and channeling, to see if you need to work with balancing the things from within so that you can think clear. Maybe you need to get in a habit of writing or speaking it over and over and over to shut down all those thoughts that are coming in so fast because you haven't gained control over your mind, you know. Or there can be a chemical imbalance where you may need some services to bring those balances up. We're not all perfectly made. It's just like a car. Over a while, the car is brand new, right? And then after time, you find out, okay, it needs some tweaking, it needs some this, it needs some that. Well, that's how our bodies are. Our bodies are cars. They are temples or physical aspects that help us travel on this journey. Because how long is this journey? However long the divine has the expiration date for you. But in the process of the journey, you have to fine tune the car and also know that this is temporary. This is a journey. Earth is not your resting space. Okay? It's a place. So don't inhibit everything that's going on in the earth. This is a time, okay? It's not your place, your resting place. It's a space. You in it till whenever that time is to go back, okay? So find balance. The other thing is practicing gratitude. This comes up a lot. This came up in the part one about practicing daily gratitude. Is something that I talk about in the masterclass. We were in intuitive magic. What is intuitive magic? Your superpower. Last week we were on intuition versus anxiety. That's on Saturdays from 9 to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we bring in gratitude because it actually helps you to ignite things within yourself and to find your perfect balance in space. Even if it's one thing to practice gratitude about, that's a lot in itself. Okay. But it is a life practice. It's something that you have to do daily because challenges will come. They will come because it's to grow you in your spiritual maturity. And so, as you do that, then when you practice in gratitude and when the challenges come, I'm in gratitude. I'm every day I'm working in gratitude. And you can see past what is your current circumstance because once you're saying that, you've already of creating that, or you write it, you've already creating it for you. So you want to practice gratitude. Okay. All right. So that's the reading for today. That's the current energy um, that we have for this day. Um, so finishing up, make sure that you like, share, subscribe here on YouTube. You can also follow us on our website that we have. We have email listings, send a lot of information there. Join us on Instagram. We have a lot of stories that go there. Follow me on Twitter at eclipticspiritualist7, as well as you can follow on Facebook. Um, Join Patreon. This course is there on Patreon. Is in written form, so you could dive even more deeper or print that out to put in your notebook so that you can have. I do recommend for you to have a sacred journal as well as doing the moon app. Make sure that you're studying for yourself, and don't jump from topic to topic. Just stick with something a good 6 months to a year to see how it works for you. Okay, stick with it. It's for you. This is your life and your time. And it's very important, be a tree. Last week we talked about being a strong tree. Morgan mentioned about being a willow. And that means that with being a tree, not being a twig with some raggedy leaves on it, is being a tree of growth and deep roots so that you are bendable because we have to be bendable in this life. All right. I love you for watching today. Don't forget that I offer private psychic readings that will change your life, along with spell work, which is ritual work, altar visuals. We also for consultations, a beautiful master classes on Saturdays. They are live. They are to bring you to accountability. I don't offer right now. I haven't been guided to just offer self-study because people need accountability in their lives to have somewhere to go. That may or may not fit your life. It's okay. You know, we also offer counseling, diagnostic consultations, so much more. Check me out on my website at https eclipticspiritualist7.com. I will see you later. Enjoy this full moon today information. Look at part one and part two. It's the reading, and I will see you